Hello, I'm journalist and comedian James Mullinger. 7 years ago, I left London, England and moved to St. John, New Brunswick. Since then, my stand-up career has taken me to just about every town and city in Atlantic Canada, which, let's face it, has provided plenty of material. But I've also come to realise that this place is special and, crucially, underappreciated. So my wife Pam and I started a magazine, the Maritime Edit, to celebrate its natural beauty and the incredible spirit of the people here. Last year, here on Atlantic Edition, I embarked on a tour to meet some of Atlantic Canada's most interesting and dynamic people, and chatted about what drives and inspires them, and learned what they love so much about this place we're all so proud to call home. And now we're doing it again. I'm back on the road to meet even more fascinating Atlantic Canadians, and today I'm meeting Silva, Stojak and Shallyn Murray, the owners of the award-winning Prince Edward Island architecture and design firm, 9 Yard Studio. Their growing portfolio of projects spans residential, commercial and public builds that are simply awe-inspiring. Beyond architecture, the pair have created a collective of creatives from craftspeople and photographers to graphic designers and musicians. Silva is originally from Bosnia and Herzegovina, honing her craft through many years of experience. Shallyn was born and raised on the island, but travelled around the world before coming to share her gifts at home. I'm meeting with Silva and Shallyn on the island, where we can see their amazing work firsthand and learn more about the journey to how they got here. I'm James Mullinger, and this is Atlantic Edition. Hello there. I'm on my way to meet two of my favourite people ever, Shallyn and Silva of 9 Yard Studio. They are known not only here on their home of Prince Edward Island, but internationally for their incredible architecture and design work, like my personal favourite, the Urban Beehive project, which highlights the importance of pollinators in a sustainable environment, and is quite probably the most beautiful beehive on the planet. I'm headed now to Silva's cottage on the Wheatley River, which is itself one of their signature builds. I can't wait to see and hear what they're working on now, including grabbing a hard hat to visit their biggest project to date, a brand new library for the city of Charlottetown. Here we go. Wow!
Hi, James. Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh my God, so good to see
so
you.
Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my goodness. This is just mind-blowing. I mean, I've seen so many photographs, but I mean, to see it in the flesh, so to speak, is just a dream. Thank you. Let's do this. Let's do this. Wow, this is incredible. I mean, what is the design inspiration behind a project like this?
I think, it was somehow we wanted to lean on farm grouping of the buildings. But in this case, we divided it so that my husband and I, we can use this part here just for ourselves, and our guests and kids can use like little bunkie on the side, and then there's also just a shed that we store things.
Well, it's stunning. I mean, is it different, though, when you're working on a project without a client, or rather there is a client, but it's yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the first job that we ever did where we were our own client, and Silva and her family kind of graciously took this on, but I think it's really allowed us to show clients, what we believe in, what kind of architecture we would do, if we had the opportunity, and It's been an amazing response. I think what we found is when we really have our heart and soul into something, it yields the best results.
Right. Well, they say, show, don't tell. And,
Yes,
and what
exactly.
better to be able to say, this is what we do, than creating something. But do you think that creatively, that actually makes it, did you feel that pressure then, since you knew this was essentially going to be a showpiece?
No.
No.
Because I think it came to me on a napkin. I basically sketched this and I showed to my husband. I said, I think I would like to build this. And it was nothing else, and he said oh, but where are we going to do that? So then we had to find this piece of land and all of that. But it was really important for us to have this showpiece for us. And I mean, we had very limited budget because we are not like some of our clients. so we had to actually keep very, very strict rules how much we spend. But we decided on a very small footprint to show expansion of the space and volume to kind of expose a large two-story volume, a ceiling, and all of that, so that a relatively small space, it looks much larger.
Right. Oh, it's remarkable. I'm very glad you've invited me to stay for the month. Should we chat?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Show me the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is glorious. Oh, thank you. All this for me? Oh, thank you so much. This is
welcome.
the dream. I feel like I should probably start at the beginning and ask how you both met.
Silva was actually my boss originally. So I went to Dalhousie and I did my co-op term at BGHJ Architects at the time, and Silva was a partner there. So I was a student for about 8 months there, and we got along really well. And after I graduated, I ended up coming back to the island, and Silva called me at the time and said, what are you doing? We need somebody. And I came there, and I wasn't planning on staying, but
wow,
never left.
It's amazing. Incredible. So the firm that you invited her to come to was already obviously very established. It'd been going for a number of years. How would you say that 9 Yards differs from what you were doing before and indeed the kind of office environment?
I would say it's completely different. But I think we both, the project she's talking about is the Urban Beehive project, and we both had this energy to do things that were outside the realm of architecture, and I think that's what inspired, 9 Yards comes from the whole 9 yards, meaning all-encompassing, and we really wanted to do things like furniture design and object design and really show how everyday objects can improve your life, and community work and art installations, that was all sort of a big part of our vision. So we kind of took architecture and kind of turned it on its head a little bit. Obviously our prime business is still architecture, but we love so many different things. So.
I mean, the Urban Beehive is such an incredible project. Tell me a bit about how that started. Something that could be kind of so visually, aesthetically, but stunning, but also so important in terms of sustainability.
Yeah, I mean, I think how it started was we were both working pretty hard, and we didn't really have any projects that we were super ecstatic about at the time, and it kind of went from there. We started engaging beekeepers. We connected with the local Beekeepers Association. We kind of thought, we don't want to just put beehives somewhere where nobody will notice them. We have the opportunity to sort of draw attention to this issue, to really make pollinators the center of this project. So we decided to put them in sort of 14-foot tall sculptures.
Right.
I think it's with any kind of art, when you want to draw attention to something, you change the scale. And so we thought this is absolutely amazing. First of all, that we can, in this agricultural place, tell to all the people of this province and any visitors, importance of the bees for our sustainability, on the planet. Learning more and more about it, we got more and more engaged. Yeah. We started loving these beekeepers. Beekeepers came to our office and they are talking to us all about all of this. And you see their passion. Right. And then we became even more passionate about this.
So you've worked together for 8 years, been partners for 4. Can you describe a bit how the partnership dynamic works between the two of you?
I mean, I guess one thing I would say is we get along very well. We really started off our firm with a very collaborative process in that we were small, so there was only 5 of us in the beginning, and we all worked on every project, and that was great. I think now that we've grown, we're 14 now, it's just become a bigger operation, but we still go to each other, you know. I'll be like, can you just give me your opinion on this? And, you know, and I think that works really well. And yeah, we have a really good partnership.
It's beautiful. And Silva, what do you think that you learn from each other?
I mean, look, it's really interesting because we were talking about that Shallyn can be my daughter, and we are definitely multi-generational firm, and we come from such a different background. But I think like what I found about Shallyn, that she has like enormous discipline when she's working. She is a very hard worker, very dedicated to her clients, very dedicated to her project, and she is relentless about finding a right solution to the end. No, I mean, like, I never have a chance to say anything about her, but like that's true, and I mean, like, I really appreciate that.
I came out of school, business school, and I was always interested in doing something creative. What they were doing was very interesting, and they seemed like people who were creative, and I kind of was drawn towards that. I think they complement each other very well. So when you're designing something, you're designing that with people in mind, and they both they share that, and it's seen in the projects that they do, like the Urban Beehive project, or even something as small as the object design we do, because people deserve things that look beautiful and that are functional. I think that's something that motivates them, and something that is often spoken about. It's like, you design something, but does it feel good? Does it bring you joy? And I think that's what motivates them, is kind of spreading joy through design.
Silva, what was it that brought you from Sarajevo to Prince Edward Island?
It's a long story. I moved to Canada in 1990. My husband was doing his PhD in philosophy in Waterloo. And so when he finished his PhD, in the meantime, in 1992, war started in Sarajevo, in Bosnia. We couldn't go back, so we were granted refugee status and Canadian citizenship, which we were thrilled to receive. And so then when philosophers get a job, you go wherever they get a job, and he got a job at University of Prince Edward Island.
Had you heard of it before?
I've heard it before. There was when Peter Zgovsky still was on radio, on CBC radio, he was talking about this little province in Atlantic Canada, and I just fell in love with the place. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's just beautiful to live here.
Yeah, it's a paradise for sure. And,
yeah.
And again, it's a paradise that people, of course, globally want to come to. You were, of course, blessed to grow up here. Do you think that gives you a different outlook, and how did the two different backgrounds blend when it comes to how you both see this island?
Yeah, I think it gives me a bit of a different outlook in that I'm very familiar with this place. I know a lot of people, as you know, in Atlantic Canada. You kind of know one person and you're related to everybody.
Yeah, 1 degree of separation, yeah.
Exactly, and I don't know that I thought I would come back here initially when I went to architecture school, but now that I'm back and I own a business, I certainly appreciate how amazing the people here are, and how many times I get calls because so-and-so who knows my dad called them and told them they should, so it's like, it's pretty amazing community that way, and I think we've been really supported a lot.
So one of my favorite projects of yours is How Bay House. Could you tell me a bit about that and how that came about?
Oh, wow. These people from Toronto came, and they found this piece of land in How Bay, and their last names are Howe, and so they thought, like, oh, that's meant to be. It takes an amazing client to do amazing project. Landscape there is much more dramatic than here. It's that, like, I think you have almost 280-degree a view of water, and you are elevated there, and it's just water and sky, and you have this enormous horizon. The whole idea about the shape of the house was like somehow to blend to that horizon, so to maybe accentuate the horizon. And when you come in, it's this like enormous view.
Yeah, they were very trusting.
They were very
amazing clients.
Amazing client, yeah.
The trust paid off. Yeah. And I mean, when I look at a project like that, I wonder, like, what is a basic architecture or design tip that we can all take away and use in our homes on a very basic level?
I think we all need to learn how to live with the nature, and I think that's very important because nature can enhance our living enormously. We need to know where our views are, where our winds come from, where our sun comes from, and like live with that and design around it.
So tell me, what are your favorite things about island life?
Oh, so many.
So many.
I know, so many. Oh, we've got all month.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, what not?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like a big beach person, and I grew up, my parents, speaking of cottages, have a cottage 10 minutes from our house that we grew up in. It was my grandfather's house, so it's been in our family since we were born. And we love that place, you know. We all come back there and it's like memories for us, but it's like right on the ocean. Like you can walk through the dune grass to the beach, and then the tide goes out for miles. You can walk and dig clams, and so that's one of my absolute favorite things.
That's it, and there's always so much more to find.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it's so gentle and beautiful, and you know, I think like then food and people and just everything about it. It's just like, yeah, Richard's.
Yes,
yes, like,
Richard.
And yeah, no, I mean, look, it's just amazing place.
Richard's is probably the best lobster roll in the world.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And
yes.
it has to be said, they are one of the only places I know that fill a glass of wine how I want it filled, which is to the brim and spilling over. I always ask for that, I never get it. The
Yeah.
Richards, you don't even have to ask. They just do it.
Just
It's
do it.
magical. Hey, how's it going?
Fine, how are you? Good to see you.
You too. Thank you so much for an amazing night.
You're very welcome.
Maritime hospitality at its finest. This is such a beautiful, beautiful space. I mean, how do you design an office space for designers?
So it was actually already pretty much set up how we wanted it. We just kind of added some nice touches of models and our logos and just kept it pretty minimal and clean.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh well, it looks like a 9-yard studio space,
Yeah.
which is what it is. I mean, how would you describe the culture here at 9-Yard Studio?
It's pretty amazing. We have an amazing group of people that work with us, and every and each of them contributes enormously to a success of our operation and everything, so that we couldn't be able to operate without them. And very collaborative, very friendly, and I think like we accept people that are like-minded, have excitement about working here, and I guess we attract each other, and somehow, like, you know, it works as a chemistry.
Yeah. What can you tell me about 9Y Fridays?
We missed them. What we can now. We actually didn't have a 9Y Friday for a long time because of COVID. But this is a time that on Friday afternoon at 4:30 we decide like this is now a time to actually relax and get loose and have a little bit of you know, like cocktail or drink and just chat and then a couple of musicians pick up the guitars, and all of a sudden like we are in the 9Y Friday mode, and we are you know, stay sometimes much longer than like, you know, what we intended, but like it's always fun.
And I see you've been getting into a lot of public realm projects. Why is that important to you?
I think, as we talked about last night, community design has been really important for us, and I think doing those projects that affect the community, contribute to the community, has been really important to us.
We were working on lots of interesting projects in Charlottetown and on the island, and a couple of them are related to mental health, public housing projects, and schools, and lots of houses. But one project that we are particularly interested is
Charlottetown Library Learning Center.
Wow, that is a huge project.
Yes.
That must be quite an undertaking. I mean, for a city this large, and again, I mean, a public library is, let's face it, the most exciting thing for any one of us that grew up spending their time in libraries.
Yeah. It's definitely most impactful for us. Do you want to go and see it?
I would love to go and see it.
Okay.
That'd be
Here's
nice.
like Shallyn here.
Awesome.
And
Hard
here's
hat.
Joe.
Oh, you know you've made it when you're wearing a hard hat.
Let's go.
Wow, this is incredible. You must be so excited about this project.
We're beyond excited. This was a real dream for us.
Yeah, this is one of the projects that we are probably most excited recently that we got, because it means so much to everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, I mean, how did you come up with the vision for it, and what was the inspiration for the design?
Like most modern libraries these days, it's not just a place to store books, it's a real community hub, and that really followed through from beginning to end. So a very small portion of this space you will see is actually for book storage. It's mostly for formal or informal gathering for the community. There's a creative media lab with 3D printers. There's a huge community space for 300 people that's going to be available after hours, recording studios, programming kitchen. So this is really a place for Charlottetown and for the island.
That's incredible. So, I mean, libraries for me were everything about my childhood. How do you reconcile the love of doing something that's visually impressive with something which is so intrinsically community driven?
Library was in my life probably one of the most important buildings and spaces that I remember spending so much time. And when we moved here on the island in 1997, that was the first place that I went with my children. And I was very frustrated because I couldn't put stroller in a in the elevator, so I had to basically run with the baby upstairs and all of that. So it was not really sufficient what was there. So for us to create something like this, it is absolutely amazing because we have excitement of that I felt when I was a child to create something here in Charlottetown for everyone to use.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
And you know how they say in Atlantic Canada, kitchen is the place where people meet. Yeah. So this is going to become Charlottetown kitchen for everybody to meet. Yeah.
This is the Charlottetown kitchen party. This is the place. I mean, come December, it's going to feel pretty special when you're seeing your vision come to life. You're seeing the community come and experience everything that you've worked on. But how do you feel about the fact that in not just a decade, but in 100 years, in hundreds of years even, there's going to be newcomers coming to Canada, families still enjoying the thing that you created? What does that mean to you?
I mean, I think that's really every architect's dream, right? To build something that people love that's going to last a long time. But I think for me personally, I'm from here. My family's been here for generations and probably be here for generations to come. So it's pretty exciting to think about them using the space that we designed. So
true. And here we are in it. It's amazing. I can't thank you enough for your time and insights. I've had an amazing couple of days, and I will see you both in December. We can come and read a book together.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.